It's been a hell of a week. The global economy's in meltdown, the financial markets are in chaos, and it's not over yet, not by a long shot. Basically, greed, dodgy loans and bad debt are to blame. So you'd think we'd all be a bit cautious with our credit cards. Some of us may be, but not the kids they call Generation Y. They're young, reckless, and they've racked up an astonishing $60 billion of debt. New cars, new clothes, new toys, no problem. Just whack it on the card. These kids have never known tough economic times, so they think they're invincible. But now they're in for the shock of their lives. The world economy is in freefall, on the brink of recession. But 20-year-old Amanda Naborsi couldn't care less.
How much do you spend a week on your credit card?
Oh, $1,500?
And you don't blink at that?
Not at all. Nothing.
It's a lot of money.
It's all right. It's happiness.
Amanda's typical of Generation Y, those aged between 18 and 28. She still lives at home, has no bills to pay. She earns $35,000 a year and happily blows every cent.
Don't look at the price, really. If you love it, you love it. That's it. Get it. Don't have hesitations about it. Don't have second thoughts.
What, whack it on the card?
Yeah, and pay it off later. It's like a take-home lay-by.
Pretty amazing.
Today, she's unleashing a brand new credit card. Limit $5,000.
Wow. Yeah, it's beautiful.
Her age group is now known as Generation Debt, owing a staggering $60 billion.
Are there any coins or notes in your wallet?
5 cents.
And underpinning their attitude is a naive confidence everything will be okay.
What do you think older generations think about your attitude to spending?
We spend too much money. That's what they think. I get told off by old ladies about, you're spending too much money. I mean, that's my concern, not anyone else's concern. Where I'm heading has got to do with me. It's got nothing to do with anyone else. It's my bill, it's my debt, I'll deal with it. And if I can't afford it, I'll just, go bankrupt. Oh, I don't know.
This is a generation which is only going to know debt and no assets, and that's an extremely dangerous combination for an economy facing a global recession.
The world financial crisis has been caused by debt. Why does Gen Y keep spending?
Because it's just like having a car accident. You only stop driving irresponsibly after you've hit the wall.
This is my life, Pete. This is 70 grand's worth of debt.
21-year-old Zoe Zerkler has hit the wall. Big time.
There's an 11 grand personal loan, a 9 grand TV, a 10 grand car, there's a 2 grand credit card, there's a $1,000 credit card.
Just 3 years out of school, Zoe's on the brink of bankruptcy.
This folder is my life. This is who I am, what I do. This is me. 70 grand's worth of debt.
On a supermarket salary of about $35,000, Zoe bought a car, a PlayStation, a state-of-the-art laptop, 2 huge televisions and much more, all on credit.
When you look at all this paperwork, $70,000 worth of debt, what do you think?
Why? Why was I so stupid? Why wasn't I just happy with what I had? Sorry.
It's really it's that bad for you.
Yeah.
They're destroying their future. They're not going to be able to afford to have kids. They're not going to be able to afford to have a home. More than likely they're going to be on a pension. And they should be set up for life. And we've squandered it on what, like a big screen TV and a flashy car? It's soul destroying.
Okay, that gives us a total of $25,000 worth of debt.
Ben Paris runs a debt management
If I put
service.
this into my calculator.
This is their last stop. People with debt are calling here.
It's either this or bankruptcy.
He goes into bat for people like Zoe, trying to negotiate a deal with creditors. Business is booming.
Does it worry you, though, that you were getting 8,000 calls a year from people your age in massive debt?
My age and younger, they're the ones that really worry me. I'm 26 and we're getting calls from 18-year-olds who are just eligible for a credit card debt, and they've got a $5,000 phone bill, a $5,000 credit card bill, a $10,000 car loan, and they're 18.
I can see myself in this. Hi, Pete.
What's fueling this crisis is ridiculously easy credit being offered to a generation who are used to getting what they want.
This is so exciting.
Amanda has only 22 cents in the bank, but she's preparing to buy a $60,000 car on credit.
It's really pretty.
It's breathtakingly reckless, but if it all goes pear-shaped, Amanda believes she's not to blame.
It's like I'm a celebrity. Hello.
Are you saying you're a victim in all of this?
We are. We're targets. We are targets to the bank because we know that they know that we're gullible. They know that anything they say will just follow. It's just they're the leader and we're just the little people walking behind them. They give me money.
You're loving it. You could have sent the card back.
But I needed it. I need it for emergencies.
I think your definition of emergencies is different to my definition of emergency.
And I'm loving it. I really am. It's fabulous.
What role does easy credit play?
An enormous role, because even if you only knew the good times and you're willing to be irresponsible, it takes an irresponsible lender on the other side to give you that credit. And I really don't blame the kids for this.
Economist Steve Keen says the bad debt Generation Y is accumulating mirrors the bad debt that's led to the global financial meltdown.
Haven't the banks learned their lesson from the subprime debacle?
They haven't learned it because they're still looking for the best possible margin, and the competitive pressures in the market mean that if they don't provide an irresponsible bit of credit card lending to some Gen Y, somebody else will do it, and they want to get hold of the fees and get hold of the high margins they get on those loans. Only when the whole thing goes belly up will they suddenly turn the tap off.
All right, Pete, this one's my shout.
But until that crunch comes, Gen Y will just keep on spending.
So this is an indulgence.
It is a little bit of an indulgence, but why not splurge sometimes?
I'll have a beer.
Okay, I'll have a passion fruit mojito.
Emma Lovell is a full-time student. She'll finish uni with a business degree and $40,000 in the red. For students like her, debt is a way of life.
How much are you guys in debt?
By the end of my degree, I'll have around $49,000 worth of fixed debt.
Around 26. Yeah, I'm almost finished and I've got about $20,000 racked up, so...
How on earth do you guys afford to drink?
Happy hour prices.
Happy hour, okay.
About half of Emma's debt is HECS fees, the unavoidable cost of a university education, and the rest she's borrowed to pay for a car and that other Gen Y essential, world travel.
I'll be going to South Africa, then to Tanzania and Nairobi, up to London, Scotland, quick visit over to Germany, fly over to Dallas for a stop.
How are you paying for it?
With this little beauty, my loan, which was for my car, and I've now refinanced it, so I've added on another $10,000.
So this $12,500 is absolutely money well borrowed.
Definitely, and I know that I'm going to be in debt later on in my life, so may as well learn to manage it now and use it for great things like this. I don't think this is a waste at all.
Zoe, what's it like walking into a big shopping centre for you?
Hard.
Zoe's money was wasted in shopping centres like this.
I want to walk into and buy stuff.
On stuff she didn't need and couldn't afford. Remember, her debt is more than $70,000.
And is that exactly what you were doing? You were just coming in and laying down the cart?
Yeah, just laying down credit, and they ask how you're going to pay, and just say credit, just credit. So just sign away.
A sucker for interest-free deals, by the time she realised her debt was out of control, so was her life.
I thought about going and being a stripper for a couple of nights just for the money. But when it came down to it, I couldn't do that to my mum. I couldn't do that to my family. I couldn't do it to myself.
What stopped you walking out the door?
My beliefs, my mum. Knowing how it would hurt my mum to know that I went and did that.
Oh, you poor possum.
Like so many of her generation, Zoe is now back living at home,
I did the dishes as well.
a vastly different life to when her mum was her age.
So you've been sitting around watching television?
When I was young, for us to get credit, we actually had to get our parents to basically go guarantor for us. I'd know I'd get the horsewhip if I didn't pay back my debts from my dad.
Oh, guess what?
There's no horsewhip in this household, just a caring mum still providing for her adult daughter.
It's taken a long time.
Do you know what Gen Y, how much debt they're in?
Overall, in total, no.
How does $60 billion sound?
60 billion, and look at how much of a chunk I have of it.
Yeah, but you'll get through it, dear.
As a parent, I still worry about that sort of thing.
Emma Lovell also still lives at home, but despite owing tens of thousands of dollars, she's supremely confident of her future.
I want my life to go in a certain direction, and I can't do that if I, sit here saving. It's not possible to sit here and just save and save and save. That's not the way we do things.
Why is Generation Y so ballsy about debt and confident that you can pay it off?
I know that I will be successful because I will make myself successful, because I know I have this debt. So it can be a driving factor. It's scary though. It really is. But unfortunately, we need it. We need the money.
What's really scary, though, is the amount of interest Generation Y will ultimately pay to service its debt.
Emma, we've projected forward to when you were 40. This is what you're going to look like.
I hope not. God.
But more importantly, if Emma continues to borrow at her current rate, by the time she's 40, she will have paid $77,500 in interest.
When you put it in a lump sum like that, yeah, it's horrendous and it's scary, but that's what I've got to do to have a future. Hopefully better than that one.
The story's the same for Amanda.
Oh,
That's you at 40.
that's disgusting. Where's the Botox?
Put it on the card. But the real crunch is your financial situation when you're 40.
Oh.
With your credit card debt, a big car loan, and if you don't pay it on time, you would have paid $82,000 in interest. Are you worried about the future now?
$82,000 is the price that I pay for being happy, for being able to indulge myself in all the luxury items that I've bought over the past 40 years. That's what it is.
It's worth it.
It is, it's worth it.
Where does Gen Y's $60 billion in debt in Australia now fit into the global financial meltdown that's happening now?
That's the poisonous icing on top of a very poisonous cake. The cake was going to sink anyway, and the icing is going to drive it down even further. They've got all the debt and no assets, and at some stage soon they're going to have no income, and that's a deadly combination.
It's a lesson Zoe Zirkler had to learn the hard way, but finally she's quitting credit.
It's really got you shaken, hasn't it?
It does.
Because of what they've done.
She's working full-time, and you can't help but admire her decision to pay back what she owes.
Time to say goodbye.
Cheers.
But for most of Generation Y, they'll continue to buy now and pay later.
So this is your home. This is where you're
I was born here and I would die in here. It's great. It's great.
Hello, I'm Tom Steinfort. Thanks for watching 60 Minutes Australia. Subscribe to our channel now for brand new stories and exclusive clips every week. And don't miss out on our Extra Minutes segments and full episodes of 60 Minutes on 9now.com.au, as well as the 9Now app.